Hi y'all, Kraken Latte here. This will be a guide on how to do the Wailing Caverns Pet Battle Dungeon. Even if you don't like pet battles, doing this dungeon at least once will unlock an account-wide portal that will take you directly to the Wailing Caverns entrance in Northern Barrens. For all you non-collectors, this guide will use tradable pets when possible so that you could just resell the pets when you're done with them. I'll go over what pets I use for each fight, as well as walking you through the movesets in real time. Alright, let's get right into it. First, you'll want to pick up the quest from your Borealis or Desire Lord trainer. You can find it next to Manapoof, the pet dungeon portal NPC, at these locations on screen. Then, head to the Wailing Caverns area in Northern Barrens and speak to this NPC to get started. For our first fight, we have the Deviate Smallclaw. For him, we're going to be using all moths. It doesn't matter what moth you use, as long as they have these three abilities: Moth Dust, Cocoon Strike, and Slicing Wind. For most of them, it's abilities 1, 1, and 2. Just like last time, I will walk you through this using a 1, 2, and 3 pattern to not get things confused. Start with number 3. Then we'll do number 2. To dodge that ability. Very nice. And a number 1. Simple as that. You keep using that in the same rotation over and over. Because moths are pretty simple, but they're pretty boss. Now the backline pets for all the pets in this dungeon will be random, but most of them will be weak to the pets you have, so it won't be so much of a big deal. They're pretty simple. They're usually white, which means they're very weak quality. This is a very beginner dungeon, so you don't have much to worry about. Just take care of these by using the same rotation on the main boss, and before you know it, they will be donezo. Just like that. Now for our second fight, we have the Deviate Chomper. We're going to be using all moths again, and it's okay if you use the same ones. They likely didn't take a lot of damage, and when you win, you do heal a little bit. So if you want to use the same 3 that you just used, it's fine. Same abilities. And we're going to be doing the same exact rotation for this fellow. See how the backline pets are a little different? They likely won't be the same ones, if you do this a second time. But we'll just start with a 3. We'll do a number 2, and then number 1 twice, just like before. When you have moths with those 3 abilities, it's usually running in the same pattern. 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1. Pretty simple. And look at that, the little boss is already dead. Poor thing. Now we're gonna take out his friends. Kinda mean sounding when you put it that way. Oh, we're so mean. Oh, look at that. Going in for an aerial attack. Smack, smack. Do it again till the others are off cooldown. And he's down. And we go back to number 3. And then a number 2. And then, a couple of 1s until he's gone. You get the idea. It's pretty simple. Now, if you plan on doing any further pet battling, remember this rotation for the moths. You'll like them in future dungeons. They're pretty nice, especially in Nomergon. They're really helpful. And he's done! Woo! For our third fight, we've got the Deviate Flapper. For this one, we shake it up with a Terraclaw hatchling, using abilities a 2, 2, and 2, with a Magic Lamp, 1, 1, 1, and a Hyjal Wisp, 2, 1, 2. The second and third pets in this team don't matter as much, because your Terraclaw is going to be doing most of the damage, but those are the ones I chose, just in case. Here we're going to start with a number 2. Get that heal going on yourself. Then we're going to do a number 1. And we're going to do a few of those. This one, you're going to use a little bit of your judgment. You want to use the number 3 when he's lower on health, because it'll heal you back if you kill him when you use it. So, I did 2 number 1s here, and then a number 3. Whammo. That's my health. Thank you. Tasty. Now, keep an eye on that buff up there. We're gonna do it again using our number 2. Keeping that heal on yourself will make sure that you don't have to switch pets, which is tasty. Since you can't use your number 3, we're gonna use number 1. And we're gonna use our number 3 now. It does strike twice, so you can use it if they're, you know, a little less than half health, if you don't think they're gonna take a lot of damage. Since these are, or if you think they're gonna take a lot of damage, because since these are basic pets, they're common white little babies, they take a lot of damage, so. And just like before, keep that buff up, do a number 1, after number 2, of course, 2 then 1. And then get him with a 3 so you can get even more health, because you're going to be using the Terror Claw multiple times through this dungeon, so you want to make sure that you do get those heals in on yourself. Because if this isn't your first time here and you're doing a challenge, you can't heal yourself during a challenge, so. Alright, for fight 4, we have Son of Scum. For this one, we're going to want to use the Dark Moon Zeppelin with abilities 1-1-2, the Dark Moon Tonk with 1-1-2, and any pet of your choice as a third. I chose Dark Moon Rabbit for fun at 1-1-2. You'll really only need the first 2 for this fight, usually, if you're lucky. Let's start off with a number 2. And we'll use number 3, Decoy, so we can dodge some abilities. That's always good. And then a number 1. Until our number 2 is off cooldown. You pretty much just use your number 1 while the other ones are off cooldown. And then you use 3 and then 2 as a priority. But obviously you'll have to use 2 first, since the number 3 won't come off cooldown for a while. So just keep spamming that 1 until your number 2 is off cooldown. He's doing some pretty good dabblage on me. Up. Don't worry, you're a mechanical pet. You come back for a second time. Ha ha ha! Joke's on you. Number 1 again. Oh, you're dead. That's okay. Alright, it's Tonk time. Since that guy is almost down, let's just go for a shock and awe. Number 2. Beautiful. Little boss is down. Now we gotta take out the backline pets. Use number 1. Yep, that bombing run from number 2 that you had didn't go off just yet, and it just did. Nice. Now I'm gonna go ahead and probably smack him with a number 3 after I use a number 1. Yep, there we go. There's the number 3. Because, it almost killed him. Your number 3 ability on your Tonk will make you recover for a turn or 2. So that's why you want to use it when you think you're gonna kill them. But that's okay. No worries here, you won't be using these pets again. Good job. And for fight number 5, we have Fixia. This cute little snack here. We're going to use the Iron Starlet at 1-2-1, and a couple moths again with the same 1-1-2 abilities as you saw before. It's pretty simple. Your Iron Starlet's going to be doing most of the work here, so you don't have to worry about your moths too much. Alrighty, let's start off with a number 1. Because he's going to dodge you if you use anything else. A number 3. And a number 1 again. So you have powered up wind up. This will slap him real good. Bam! Look at that. That's hot. Alright. Cleanup time. Let's go for a number 1 to get you a little bit of juice. Beef you up a bit. We'll use number 1 again, just because. You could use number 2 if you want, but I tend to like wind up a little too much. Go for number 2 after that. Number 2 again to finish him off, if it didn't. Which it looks like only the 1 suffice, because it poisons him. Go for number 1 for the backline pet. Supercharge just for fun. Just number 3. Then we'll hit him with a number 1 again. Wham! Oh, almost killed him. Fear not, I am machine, so I come back. Ha ha ha. And then we use number 2. Whammo. Easy as pie. Which is funny, because pie actually isn't very easy. For fight number 6, we've got Dreadcoil, another little snake. They're so cute. For this one, we're going to use Little Bling, with numbers 2, 2, and 1. Another moth, any one of your choice with the same abilities as before, 1, 1, and 2. And then Terraclaw Hatchling in the 3rd slot with 2, 1, 2, just as a backup, although you likely won't need him. Oh, wait, come back, snake! He's a roamer! Come back, I need to kill you! Famous last words, right? Alright, let's begin with a number 2. Get a shield on ourselves. A number 1, so we can get a nice dot going of pain coins. That was number 3 I meant, not number 1. And now we're doing number 1. I'm sorry, look at me giving you wrong instructions. You knew what I meant, I hope, if you were watching the screen. Now let your number 1 do its little abilities till it runs out. And you'll pretty much do the same rotation. Little Bling pretty much uses the same thing most of the time. 2, 3, and 1. Get a number 2 back up, so you take less damage. Do number 3, get that back up and going, and then we're gonna use a number 1. Very nice, very nice. Get smacked. Beautiful. Oh, took out my bling. That's okay. It is moth time. Just like before, we're going to use 3, 2, 1, 1 in that order. Pretty much doesn't change. There's number 2. Block that, haha. And then get a couple of number 1s on him. Sky Beast versus Sky Beast. Oh, White Moth, I choose you! Feels a little Pokemon-ish, doesn't it? That's okay. Alright, let's get a number 3 on him. Smep. All done. Nice. Very nice. And now for fight number 7, Vilefang. Another little snake. For this one, we're going to use the Rune-Forged Servitor. That word struggled for me for some reason. Using 2, 2, and 2, the Pocket Reaver at 1, 1, and 2, and then a moth of your choice at the same exact abilities as before, 1, 1, 2. And like before, you probably won't need the 3rd pet. Alright, snake time. Let's start with a number 1. And then a number 3. Beautiful. Number 2. Get charged up. And then a number 1 again. Wham! That is 1 dead snake. And I am also dead, but that's okay. I am a machine. I come back, sensing a theme. Number 1, it's time to clean up the backline pets. After the lightning does its thing. Slap. And it's okay if your first pet dies before you get to these last two. The Pocket Reaver and Moth will easily take care of everything in this group. Pocket Reaver time. Let's go ahead and supercharge, which is number 3, and then use number 1. We're gonna metal fist him. Wham. Done. Beautiful. Now for fight 8, we have Hiss. Another little snake. You'd think we were in the Wailing Caverns or something. For the first pet, we're gonna use a Hydraling. 2/1/2, a Clockwork Gnome at 1/2/1, and another moth of your choice at 1, 1, and 1 for this one, as long as they're the same abilities as before. Alrighty. Snake time again. This one's a big one, though. Alright, number 2. Get a number 3 going for a Whirlpool. It's okay if your first pet gets taken out really quick. You mainly needed to get off your 2 and your 3. Swap, get to the Clockwork Gnome, and you need to put down your number 3. That's going to build a turret that'll shoost him over time. How nice of us. And then you can use number 1 to metal fist him a few times. But as long as you got that build turret down, you're pretty much golden even if you die. That lightning will just keep zapping him, and that turret will just keep shooting him. Eek, I'm dead. But I'm back, fool. Slap. Ha ha ha. Take my lightning charged bullets of doom. And he's done. Alright, next time for the next 2 for the little pets. Commence cleanup on an Isle Snake. Use number 1. You can put down another number 3, another turret if you want. I was kind of lazy and I didn't. So you can be pretty lazy with this dungeon, honestly. It's very simple. I kept using number 1 here in this case, because I knew I had a moth, so I didn't really care if I died. Whack. It's moth time. That's okay though, because your moth dust will destroy him. And for fight number 9, we have Growing Ectoplasm A. There's 2 of these, so this is the first one. Which is kind of gross if you think about the name. And we're going to be using a Mechanical Pandaren Dragonling with abilities 1, 1, and 2. A Terraclaw Hatchling in the second slot at 2, 1, 2. And you can sort of use any Emerald type dragon of your choice. I went with the Emerald Whelpling. As long as the abilities are Emerald Bite, Emerald Presence, and Emerald Dream, although you likely won't need this pet. This is just a backup if things go really sour. So, if you don't have that, it's okay. Alright, let's throw down a number 3, which is Decoy, so we can dodge some abilities. Number 2, so we can get the ticking time bomb going. And then we just breath them to death, which is our number 1. Pretty much just spam breath a lot for this fight. Easy enough. A lot of back and forth. Once your number 2 is off cooldown, go ahead and use that again. I was lazy and just went for breath repeatedly because I knew he was almost dead, which you can do that too. So, meaning if he's really close, you don't have to use that again. It's just going to benefit you on the secondary pets, which is, you just kind of do the same thing. I got lazy and just used breath the whole time. Try to just get rid of these pets. Go ahead and put down a decoy once that's available, if you still have your Dragonling. And just keep breathing. That's okay. I come back, because I am also a machine. Whoa ho ho. Breath time. And dead. Breath him again. You could do your rotation a little more properly and you wouldn't, you know, get wrecked like my Dragonling did here, but meh. I'm lazy sometimes, so I just used breath and it worked out. It wasn't a big deal. So look at that, he's done. For fight 10, we've got Growing Ectoplasm B, the second one, which is still gross. You can actually just use the same exact pets as before because it's the same exact fight. Even if your mechanical Pandaran Dragonling is at like a half health like mine, that's okay. You'll still be able to beat him because you have your backup pets if something goes awry. So same abilities as the last fight. Same pets, same rotation. So we are going to do a number 3 just like before. And I'm actually gonna go straight for a number 1 this time instead of a number 2 because the number 2 did seem very effective on him. So I'm just gonna go straight for the number 1. Get as many of those in on him as I can since I have less health than I would like. You come back, which is nice. Breath him again. You might still be able to do it. Nope, that's okay. He's almost down. Now for the Terra Claw. He can come in and clean up. Go ahead and just use a number 1, your Alpha Strike, to finish off the main boss here. And he's dead. Now just for cleanup time. Go for number 2 so we can dodge some abilities and live longer. And use your number 1s. Just repeatedly. Number 1 again. Now when this guy gets low like that, that's when you can throw in your number 3 even though it says it does less damage. Simply because it will heal you a little bit if you kill him with it. Just like that. So, use number 2 again. Use your number 1 again. And making sure you heal yourself like that is a good practice to get into if you plan to do these occasionally. It keeps your pets alive since you can't heal them in challenge mode. Dunzo. Nice! And now for fight 11 and the last fight, we've got the Budding Ever-Living Spore, and it's kind of dark and spoopy in here. Now for this, we're going to use a Bloodstone Tunneler, which is a really nice pet to have actually. Recent one I discovered. Using 1, 2, and 1, a Puddle Terror with 1, 1, and 2, and of course a Terror Claw Hatchling and third as a backup with the same moves of 2, 1, and 2 as before. We're going to use number 3 to give this guy a good stunzo. Get some acid on him with your number 1. And we're going to use number 2 repeatedly. This does a pretty good amount of damage on him. But the best part is it does more damage if he's below 25% health. The enemy, I mean. So use your number 3 again when that's off cooldown. Throw number 1 on him since the poison was gone. And number 2 again. Do that until he is dead. Number 2. Done. See, look at that. Nice. Alright, now for cleanup. And that boss can be a real issue if you don't have the right pets for him. He does a lot of damage, especially to your backline pets. He does a lot of AoE because of his mushrooms and crap, so definitely nice. And the tunneler's down, but that's okay. That's what we got. Our Terraclaw 4. Da-da-da-da. Dodge so we can live a little longer. Alpha Strike, which is super effective against that guy, so that's nice. And you're done. Look at that. That is one done dungeon. Congratulations. And there we go. We have completed that dungeon, and you have earned your portal if that was your first time. And if it wasn't your first time, those are the same teams you can use on challenge mode to get your tokens and, well, this dungeon doesn't have tokens, but to get your pet supplies. So congratulations as always. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, it's never too latte.